crossed into Osram territory. For Avad was canny and planned to negotiate terms with the Osram. He knew he had an ally among them, Ursa, a fierce Osram warrior with whom Avad had a long and unusual history. 2 years earlier, Ursa had been brought to Meridian as a captive, destined for sacrifice. But she survived the Sun Ring, killing 2 kestrels by her own hand. Thus did she earn the honor of being made a palace slave, and in this role came to know Prince Avad. A rare friendship was formed, and Avad conspired to free his friend, who returned at once to the Osram homeland. Now desperate for allies, Avad sought out the Osram he had helped to free. Ursa had ties to the warlords and freebooters who resisted the Red Raids. With Ursa's might and Avad's keen strategy, they could raise a warband to move to overthrow Jiran. And as the rightful heir to the throne of the sun, Avad hoped to inspire many of his people to rebel, so sparing Meridian from a drawn-out war. After months of preparation, Avad and his allies crossed the border and marched on Meridian. As word of their advance spread, many Karja soldiers fled back to the city, laid down their arms, or even joined the liberators. Yet wise Avad knew that Jiran's faithful would defend Meridian to the last man. Even sacrificing the lives of its citizens, if it would hold the holy city against siege. He found kestrels and city guard already set in on the walls, ready to face arrow and shot. But Avad's Osram allies had brought new weapons never seen beneath the sun, thundering cannons strong as machines. Avad permitted them to fire their salvos on the outer walls, bringing many defenders down with great carnage. As the smoke cleared, the liberators attacked in 3 groups. One scaled the walls beneath the Temple of the Sun. Another took to the aqueducts of the palace, while the main force overcame the barricaded city gates with cannon fire. These were the final blasts fired at the holy city, as Avad forbade any further destruction. In the streets, too many scenes of brutality and chaos played out to recount. Among the terrible miasma of blood and smoke, the Sun Ring slave pits were open and hundreds spilled out, desperate to escape. Many of Jiran's supporters seized their chance to flee with this flood of unfortunates. The day had turned, and seeing his forces much reduced, the Sun King Jiran ordered his trusted kestrels to take Itamen, his sole remaining heir, from the city. Helis, terror of the sun, cleaved a path through Meridian from east to west, striking down all in his way, ally and foe alike. The savagery of Helis and his kestrels could not be matched, and so it was that Itamen, his mother, the Dowager Queen Nasadi, and the High Sun Priest of Bahavas escaped. Avad confronted Jiran in his solarium. He had hoped his father would answer for his crimes honorably, but seeing this could not be so, with great anguish he struck him down. As the murder of a true Sun King is an unthinkable act, it surely would plunge the world into shadow. Jiran's death proved that the sun had renounced his legitimacy. Yes, sun had turned shadow on the throne of Meridian, and it was Avad's light that drove the shadow out to the west, where it remains to this day. So was the cycle of things corrected in this, the first year of the reign of the 14th Sun King, the Radiant Avad. Very nice.
Girl applied to the city guardian.
Alright. Get back down to the ground into the village. And I think after, hopefully this will be the end of the side quest. After this occurs here, I think that'll be a good stopping point for us, folks. And we'll go and meet Aaron on the next exciting adventure of Horizon Zero Dawn. Again, I thank everybody who tuned in today. There'll be no Follower Friday this week here, as is CEO, and that will be starting, I believe, very early, and as well too, on top of that, of course, the LCS, as well too, between the NA LCS, of course, and the European LCS as well too. Also, folks, if you are in the East Coast there, don't forget to wake up bright and early at about 6 in the morning there, because you'll be able to catch more coverage of the Overwatch Apex Season 3 playoffs. I believe they're about to get into the lower bracket matches, I want to say. So I believe they finished all the upper bracket quarterfinals, and now that's left are the upper bracket semifinals, leading up to the inevitable actual semifinals, and then of course lower bracket matches there to round out the remaining other two teams. Okay? I mean, not other two teams remaining in the playoffs, but just the two teams who are actually going to make the quote-unquote
Gonna grab a drink with my friends and see what happens.
Semifinals.
Safe to relax here. Head into the highlands.
So they fish. Makes sense.
Fishing. I see the cable. You'll land a fish as big as a boy with those.
Yeesh! Yeah, spend some of these metal shards here, folks. Didn't realize we had so many. I'm just going to collect up to 500 Witchwood for the moment. Merchants. Didn't mean to pick up that approach from Blaze Roots. Never know.
Move along. You have no need to loiter around here.
I was told to expect you, Aloy. I suppose you want answers. Well, it's not complicated. We collect valuable objects from people who don't need them, sell them for shards, and use the money to help the needy at Sunfall.
You mean you steal?
If you want to call it that. From hogs who've had their turn at the trough for generations.
Ravon didn't seem like a hog to me.
He stinks just like the rest of them, of wealth and contentment, while people beneath him suffer.
Who exactly gets the shards at Sunfall?
Not the bastards in the fortress. We use the shards to make sure the poor in Shadowside get to eat, or bandage their wounds. They only went west because they had to. Trust me, I know. My wife was chained up with a bunch of servants and herded with them. They starved to death, still bound together.
I'm sorry.
So am I.
Where's the sword now?
Safe. I haven't sold it yet.
What do you expect me to do now? Walk away?
I was hoping you'd help us. They say you can track like a stalker. Well, my partner Nassan disappeared near the branded shore. He was bound for Sunfall, along with an entire shipment of food. If you found that, you'd be helping a lot of people.
I'll consider it. But only if you return the sword to Ravon.
I knew you were gonna say that. Fine, I'll return the damn blade. Nassan was supposed to meet his contact at an old campfire on the fork near the branded shore. Start looking there. But be careful. Lots of machines out there, and lots of Shadow Karja. And not the needy kind, but they're tormentors.
That's fine. Okay. Well, folks, it's gonna be a long trek. Didn't realize how long it'd be. I tell you what, I'll open up this last side quest that's in the Meridian village and keep it under wraps there. And I think that will do it here, and then we'll sort through and assess what can be done.
This pole may not look like much, but I caught a beauty with it just last week.
Let's see here. Shouldn't be too far now.
Fine goods for a fair price.
Don't forget to back up before you're on the road.
Here, good prices, fair prices.
Won't cost you a shard just
Regret
a
not
look.
stopping when you're in the thick of it.
Fairest prices for machine parts under the mesa. No tithes to the Sun Court. Not like those greedy snarls upside.
She's not interested in taxes.
I know what she's not interested in. As I was saying, no better offer for snap ball lenses. I'd give my oath on it.
By the sun, don't start spitting in your palm. Huntress, I apologize on behalf of my partner. Silent partner.